family. I've got 6 daughters and 1 son, and I'm tired. So I used to always want to excel. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to write songs, and God kind of blessed me. Could I have that? He must have given me the wisdom somewhere along the way. I got a couple of Grammys somewhere along the way. I wrote a few #1 country songs, and I wrote a #1 pop song one time. And I'm going to get to know you all a little bit better if I don't do something else with this skirt. I hadn't exactly meant for it to be that way. From the time I started in early radio, we worked from different radio stations all around America. And I grew up really wanting to know how to play the guitar. And having a mother called Mother Maybelle Carter, and then having Chet Adkins standing on the left side of me most of my life, glaring at me when I was playing a wrong note, I finally did learn to play the guitar a little bit. But I wouldn't have endeavored to do that tonight, not with Christopher on the show. I would have gotten the lockjaw immediately. You're from National Enquirer, right? As long as you don't get on your hands and knees and crawl this way, be okay. I worked many years at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. And back in the 50s, I decided I wanted to become a dramatic actress. And I was lucky enough to have met a director who maybe thought that I might be, a man named Eli Kazan. And he took me off to New York City, and I studied there a couple of years. And I had a different kind of life for a while. During that time, I studied very hard. I started at the Actor Studio, and then I went with Sandy Meisner at the Neighborhood Playhouse. But during that time, I supported myself, not by the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, but I was on a rock and roll show, and I used to play my banjo and my guitar and my Autoharp, and I first heard of a man named Johnny Cash, and I sang with this rock and roll singer. And at any rate, this song that I've written for you tonight it's a little bit about the 2 years of my life that is me looking at that time now and realizing that that's never going to be the same again. It's not ever going to be like that again, but it's 2 years out of my life I'd like to share with you. And to all of you young people who are aspiring for excellence, God love you all. I welcome you to the state of Virginia, and I welcome you to my heart. And may God love you and lift you up and bless you along the way. And I'll share this little bit of my life with you, and then I'll dart off into the sunset. Well, the place was New York City, and the hour was growing late. We had walked from the streets of Harlem to the Greenwich Village gate. We were young and foolish and trying out for fame, and he said James Dean was his name. And I held the rose that he gave me for an hour. He wrote down the words while I picked the wildwood flower. Well, I used to be somebody, Lord, I used to have a friend, and I'd like to be somebody again. I used to be somebody, good Lord, where have I been? I ain't ever gonna see James Dean again. Well, I went with Elvis Presley to see Brant, though from afar, and I sat with Kazan in Tennessee and did a streetcar named Desire. And I laughed a lot and I danced a lot and I rocked away my fears, but that was back in my rock and roll years. When I held the rose that he gave me for an hour, and Elvis sang the song while I picked a wildwood flower. Well, I used to be somebody, Lord, I used to have a friend, and I'd like to be somebody again.